Good evening, dear listener. As you prepare to end your day and drift into a peaceful night's sleep, let me take you on a journey to a magical place. Tonight, you will travel through an ancient forest, finding a cave to explore. This story is of a land of overwhelming abundance. Before we begin, let's take a moment to fully relax your body and mind. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs and expand your chest. Hold it for a moment, then slowly exhale, releasing any tension you may be holding. Continue to breathe deeply and steadily, letting each breath bring you deeper into relaxation. Start by focusing on your toes. Wiggle them slightly, then let them relax completely, feeling them grow warm and heavy. Let this sensation of relaxation move up through your feet, ankles, and calves. Your legs grow heavy and warm, sinking into the surface beneath you. Now, bring your attention to your thighs and hips. Allow them to soften and release any tightness, feeling the warmth and relaxation spread through your lower body. Next, focus on your abdomen and chest. With each breath, feel your muscles loosen and relax. Imagine a wave of calm moving through your torso, easing away any lingering stress. Let this wave of relaxation flow up into your shoulders, down your arms, and into your hands and fingers. Feel your shoulders drop and your arms grow heavy and warm, completely at ease. Move your focus to your neck and jaw. Allow these areas to relax, letting go of any tension you might be holding there. Feel your neck lengthen and your jaw unclench, your face soft and serene. Finally, bring your attention to your head. Let your scalp relax, your eyes rest gently closed, and your forehead smooth out. Your entire body is now enveloped in a soothing, warm relaxation, ready to drift into the peaceful world of our story. In front of you, there are rolling hills, progressively growing steeper as you travel through foothills of the mountains whose glistening ice caps draw closer every day. The hills are thickly forested, not with evergreens, but with the early light green leaves and thick gnarled trunks of broad-leaved deciduous trees. It's early spring, the weather cool but enjoyable due to the effort being exerted by your travel. You also feel an occasional warm breeze mixed with the cooler temperatures, but you're puzzled by where it could be coming from. The terrain is losing all resemblance to the cold prairie that had surrounds it. Now traversing through shaded glens and over grassy knolls of a full temperate forest, the heavy brown barks of oak, beech, walnut, apple, and maple were intermixed with supple, straight, thin-barked willow, birch, hornbeam, aspen, and the high brush of alder and hazelnut. The warm southerly breeze carries a tang to it that you cannot readily identify. Slim cylindrical flowers still cling to birches, willows, and hickory trees, while the delicate petals of pink and white drift down from the apple and cherry. These blossoms of fruit and nut trees give the early promise of bounty within the region. You struggle through brush and vines of the dense forest and climb exposed faces. As you mount rocky outcrops, the hillsides around you are resplendent with greens of every hue. The deep shades of pine reappear as you climb, along with silver fir. Higher up, blue spruce makes an occasional appearance. The deeper colors of the cone-bearing trees intermingled with the rich primary greens of the broad-leafed trees and the limes and pale greens of the small-leafed varieties. Mosses and grass add their shade to the lush variety of smaller plants, from mushrooms to the sprouting iris and dandelion. Tiny succulents cling to exposed rock faces. Wildflowers are scattered through the woods. Flowers, mostly orchids, poppies, primulas, marigold, daisies, and anemones, carpet the ground. The dew clinging to petals shimmer in the sun. In a few of the heavily shaded places, the last of the yellow and purple crocus still bravely showed their heads. Stopping for a rest after reaching the top of a steep incline, the panorama of wooded hillsides ends abruptly at the dry, grassy plains expanding to the horizon. From this vantage point, several herds of wild cow and reindeer can be seen in the distance grazing on the tall grass. The sky to the east, over the broad prairie, is clear, but scudding up fast from the south, thunderheads are brewing. If they continued to develop, these clouds could be forced to dump their load of moisture on you. As you progress beyond the nose of a jutting ridge, you see a cave a few hundred yards ahead. The roughly circular mouth, seemingly sculpted out of the rock of the mountain, was large enough to promise a space inside for exploration. A beam of light hits the opening of the southern-facing opening, which promises exposure to sunlight most of the day. The sunbeam also highlights the deep, rich soil of the cave's broad front terrace. A large bluff to the north and a matching one to the southeast offered protection from winds. Creating a list of features in your mind, the fresh flowing water coming out of the rock face, then flowing away from the cave opening, is added as a positive. Off to the west side, surrounded by a tangle of vines, brush, and grass, the water creates a spring-fed pool. Its outlet, a small rivulet trickling down the slope to the stream. You follow the spring to its source, rising out of the rock a short way up the steep, rugged, overgrown side of the cave. The sparkling water just outside the mouth was fresh and pure. You add the pool to the list of benefits of the location. Approaching the cave, you see no signs of human or animal habitation, but that was no guarantee the cave was uninhabited. Birds dart in and out of the large opening, twittering and chirping as they swoop and circle. Birds are a good omen. As you cautiously approach the cave, you skirt the mouth while carefully looking for fresh animal tracks or droppings. The most recent appear to be a few days old. The site is good, but the cave itself will contain the decision as to whether you camp here for the night or not. Preparing to enter the large dark opening, you look up at the apex high overhead as you pass into the hole in the mountain. All senses alert, you proceed warily into the dim interior, gazing around in wonder. A high-vaulted ceiling domed an enormous room. You inch along the rough rock wall, watching for openings that might lead to deeper recesses. Near the back, the cave wall turns sharply back toward the entrance. Following the opposite wall, back to the mouth, you see a dark crack, nearly the height of the cave, and the width of two men standing shoulder to shoulder. Peering into this crack, you see absolute blackness. With no torch in hand, you dash outside to scan the vegetation growing nearby. Seeing a small strand of fir trees, you head toward it. Clumps of hard resinous pitch oozes through the bark, making shiny patches on the trunks. You pry the bark loose. Fresh sticky sap beads up in the white scar left on the tree. You break off dead dry branches, still clinging below the living, green-needled boughs, then withdraw a hand axe and hack off a green branch and quickly strip it. You wrap the pitchy bark and dry twigs with tough grass to the end of the green branch and carefully light it on fire. Soon, you are holding a blazing torch and head back into the cave. Holding the torch high over your head, you re-enter the cave to investigate the dark. Hugging the wall, you make your way down a short passage to a much smaller triangular room. Piled against the far wall, a heap of bones glow whitely in the flickering torchlight. From the quantity of bones, it appears that bears had hibernated here for many winters. From the age of the bones, it is clear the cave has been uninhabited for years, just waiting to be found. It was a perfect cave, well situated, spacious, with an annex that offered additional space and privacy. As you leave the cave, the sun is shining, the clouds in rapid retreat, blown away by a sharp wind that came from the east. You take it as a good sign. You stand on the terrace in front of the cave and look out at the view from the mouth. Ahead, between a cleft formed by two hills, you can see a broad, shimmering expanse of open water. You hadn't realized you were so close, and it solved the puzzle of the rapidly warming temperature and unusual vegetation. The cave is in the foothills of a chain of mountains at the southern tip of a peninsula that jutted halfway into a mid-continent inland sea. The peninsula's primary connection to the mainland is a broad neck to the north, and a narrow strip of salt marsh ties it to the high mountainous land to the east. The salt marsh is a swampy outlet channel for a smaller inland sea on the northeastern edge of peninsula. The mountains at their back protected the coastal strip from the frigid winter cold and fierce winds. Maritime winds, moderated by unfreezing waters of the sea, create a narrow temperate belt at the protected southern tip. The factors at play provided enough moisture and warmth for the dense hardwood forest of broad-leafed deciduous trees to flourish in this region. The cave is in an ideal location. Temperatures are warmer than any that prevailed in the surrounding area, and there is an abundance of wood to supply fuel for warmth during the freezing winter months. A large sea is close at hand, filled with fish and seafood, and cliffs along the shore are home to a nesting colony of seabirds and their eggs. The temperate forest is a forager's paradise of fruits, nuts, berries, seeds, vegetables, and greens, with easy access to fresh water from springs and streams. But most importantly, it is within easy reach of the open plains, whose extensive grasslands sustain the herds of large, grazing animals. This land holds an overwhelming abundance. This is where you'll camp tonight, collecting some additional dried wood from the surrounding trees and from the forest floor. You use the torch you made earlier to start a campfire. As you sit in the quiet solitude of the forest, you feel a sense of peace settle over you like a comforting embrace. All around you, the sounds of nature fill the air, the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant call of nocturnal creatures. In this moment, you are completely present, completely alive, completely at peace. The worries and cares of the world fade away, replaced by a profound sense of connection to the natural world around you. You are one with the forest, one with the mountains, one with the stars. And as you drift off to sleep on the terrace in front of the cave, you feel a sense of gratitude well up within you for this moment, for this experience, for this gift of solitude and serenity in nature's embrace. For in this moment, you are truly alive, truly free, truly at home in the wilderness. With a grateful heart, you close your eyes and breathe in the crisp mountain air, carrying the slightly salty air of the inland sea, savoring the stillness of the night and the peace that fills your soul. And as you drift off to sleep beneath the canopy of stars, you know that you are exactly where you are meant to be, embraced by the beauty of nature and the warmth of the fire, at home in the wilderness.